it's the couple fucking mules doing a sports pod. Ooh,
Gamools.
Gabagool mozzarella, mortadella,
Yo,
mortadella.
yo, this undercard is sick.
What's
So Usman, Mount Masvidal at the top, then
Yeah.
Wiley Jing, Rose Namajunas,
Oh.
co-main. Shevchenko, Andrade, third fight. Uriah Hall, Weidman, the fourth fight. Anthony Smith, Jimmy Crute, never heard of that guy, to open it up.
must see TV.
Yeah, that's a good card. This is the one they slapped together, right? Where he was just like, fuck COVID, we're going to Florida, we're doing this.
Yeah,
100%.
They're going to Jacksonville.
Yeah, 100% capacity, right?
What? Just moving. Yeah, they're 100% capacity in Jacksonville. South Florida does it. Florida's a lawless country.
Yeah, would not go to that. But
No, it's pretty, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, let's do this. Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. Am I the only one who watched it last night?
Yeah.
I watched the replay.
Of the fight?
Yeah.
Okay. To be honest with you, the fight's like the least important thing of this whole thing. This was the most fun I've had watching like an event in a long time. This shit was funny.
Like a sporting event.
Yeah, like a pay-per-view. I felt like it was like, I think a perfect way to describe it is it is like, it's what the internet like puked up. It's like if the YouTube algorithm had a real live event. It's like if like, you know how sometimes you'll just be hanging out with people and then you just watch a couple YouTube videos and all of a sudden like you're like, oh, what's this vlog? And then you watched a vlog about people you don't like and you're like, God, and then you end up watching old rappers from the 90s in a music video, or like, oh, Snoop Dogg in a 96 Source like the Hip Hop Source Awards, and he performed, and then Ice Cube came on. It was literally that. It was literally just like watching old rappers perform, vlogs of Jake Paul that you hate. What else? It felt like a VMA show from. It was weird. It was just like it was so unprofessional.
It was an experience, right?
It was a true experience. Like there was a slap fight. This was like a perfect YouTube rabbit hole. At one point, there was a fight, right? The fight was like Joe Fournier versus this dude named Raycon, who was like a Colombian pop singer or rapper. They fought over somebody slid in somebody's girl's DMs. They had a fight. Fournier destroyed him because Fournier is like an old boxer. Destroyed him. Immediately, it was like 3 performances. It was like Saweetie, Doja Cat, and then somebody else. It was like a VMA award show. They go to the broadcast booth. Al Bernstein, who's a Hall of Fame broadcaster, has to talk about.
This sounds like TikTok coming to life.
This is crazy.
It's incredible. It was like Mario Lopez, Al Bernstein, some dude that looked like French Montana, Pete Davidson, Ashi De La Hoya gets to the stage, calls Mario Lopez Barrio Lopez, like so drunk, just wasted. It's so unprofessional. Audio's bugging in and out constantly throughout the night. Justin Bieber shows up at some point with Snoop Dogg. They're all hanging out. Too Short's there. They're all just hanging out backstage. It's like a vlog. What else happened? A fighter took a dive. Like a fighter, like in the replay. This is like the third. By the way, the first boxing match and the second boxing match were like 3 hours, like 2 hours apart. It was unbelievable. In between was just old rappers. And then vlogs like Pete Davidson coming into Jake Paul's locker room and just, it was just absolute nonsense. And then there was a slap fight. And then Ric Flair showed up to referee the slap fight. And so he reffed the slap fight, right? And I don't know. It was just a slap fight. It was the first time there's ever been a slap fight in a live event.
Not like the thing where they're on the other sides of the table.
Yes.
It was that.
Yes, and Pete Davidson hosted that too, and he was unprofessional as fuck. At one point, he went to interview. He like interviewed Jake Paul and was saying like things like, "You're a good fighter, man. Like, way to go, way to step up," with like Jack Harlow for whatever reason. And then went to Ben Askren's room and interviewed him. And Ben Askren was like, "This shit is crazy. Like Ben Askren, like legitimately was like, I don't understand what's happening. This is fucking nuts. This is so weird. And then he asked, he said to Pete Davidson, he was like, why are you talking shit on me? Are you like homies with Jake Paul? And he was like, no, I fucking hate him. I hope you beat him. Nobody likes Jake Paul. We all hate Jake Paul, and we hope you win. Ben Askren was like, he was like a dad at like his son's friend's house, and it was Jake Paul's party. Does that
What
make
crazy
sense?
metaphor.
Like,
A dad and
the
your
guy. No, hold on. Let me clean that up.
house.
Let me clean that up. Just let me clean up this metaphor. What I'm trying to say is Ben Askren was like the dad of a kid who was invited to Jake Paul's party, and they're like middle schoolers. Does this make sense? He was like a chaperone. He was like, oh, you got invited to this party, son? Okay, we'll go. And then he's like, oh my God, this guy's really rich. And then the party's like an underground fight club. It was just so strange. It was
Project
just like,
X. That happened in Project X, where the old guy across the street shows up, starts playing beer pong, he's whipping everyone's ass, and then by the end of the movie, he vomits on the minivan.
It's so strange. This was one of the funniest events ever. What were you gonna say, John?
I was saying that happened in Project X. And then
okay.
before that, I was just gonna say I just only watched the fight. I didn't watch all this excess bullshit.
The excess was the best part.
I didn't.
That's incredible. That sounds amazing.
It was so funny. Oh my God, dude. Too Short was performing. All of a sudden, Too Short, I don't know if he had work done or plastic surgery, but he looked like he was legally blind all of a sudden. I couldn't see. It was crazy. The audio's bugging. What else am I missing? Oh, at one point, Pete Davidson and Snoop Dogg were just rolling up blunts. Like at one point, Pete Davidson is smoking a blunt and then blows the smoke in Al Bernstein's face as Jake Paul enters the ring. It was a perfect symbolic moment of how crazy the internet can, what the internet and the power of the internet can do. Al Bernstein, Gene, this is a Hall of Fame boxing announcer. He announces Floyd Mayweather's fights, and he was in there talking about Jake Paul.
Getting smoke blown on him.
He was in earnest discussing Joe Fournier versus some dude named Raycon, who was like a Colombian rapper, talking about his fucking fight and rounds. It was like, what are you gonna do? Content is king and money's money, baby. I'm Al Bernstein. Like, but this guy's a legit like Hall of Fame person. It was we didn't even got to the fight. It was incredible. It was the most fun I've had watching something in a long time. It was like the perfect YouTube video.
The Super Bowl was like 2 months ago. You do it between Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady. Better than that?
Is in terms of no, it's a different thing. Like
it's like a freak show.
The Super Bowl is like it's like my favorite thing. I love it. It's just a football game. But what I mean is, it's a great show. This was the greatest.
Yeah,
it's like
it sounds awesome. I feel really left out that I didn't.
Yeah,
see
no,
it.
you would have, Gene. You would have loved it. At one point, Jake Paul was talking about his trainer who just recently died. His name was Shadow, and he talks about how serious he like. Here's the thing about Jake Paul that I love. Jake Paul is all nonsense and no nonsense all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. And so he acts like he's got this big chip on his shoulder and that the world is against him. It's like, you've been famous since you were 16 and you just started boxing 3 years ago.
And he has that chip on his shoulder.
There's a reason people don't believe in you as like a fighter. You also don't fight boxers. And so as soon as he beat Ben Askren, he fell to his knees and started crying like he won the world championship. Like, I feel like this is the perfect description of Jake Paul. He's like if a method actor played a boxer. Like, that's like the perfect description of Jake Paul. It's insane. Like, the way he talks like he's like the pound for pound king of boxing. I fucking love how crazy this dude is. It's amazing.
He just arrested like last summer for selling porn. Him and his buddies were filming porn at his house.
What?
Getting unconsented girls. They were of age. It wasn't like some child trafficking shit.
I mean, yeah.
He was selling all these pornos with these chicks who had no knowledge or did not agree to be in these pornos.
No way.
And he had a shit ton of drugs on him. He had a very short-lived rap career too, and he was spending a fuck ton of monies on features. Like he had Gucci Mane on his album, like crazy.
I had no idea about any of
I
this.
just
I knew about I didn't know what the sexual. I just knew like, oh, there was like a weird thing, and I didn't look into it.
and
But
then last weekend I was with Vicky's family down in San Diego and we watched WWE SmackDown.
let's go.
And Logan Paul was the
I saw that.
headline. The older younger brother to Jake
Yeah, the
Paul.
older.
Bro, that shit's crazy too. They have a new character on WWE who's a conspiracy theory guy.
He's fighting in the name of conspiracy theories.
Like, you know how they do the behind the scenes locker room like skits?
Yeah.
His locker room was just like fucking newspaper clippings with yarn all over the place.
That's pretty great. All right. Well, we should get to the fight portion. The part that John watched. John, we started Gene, while you were gone, we started a segment called Conspiracy Theories. Ironically enough, I think it should be called JFK. John, you got a JFK.
Yeah, this all looks staged to me. Dude, he got slapped once and went down and like looked dead. Like he wasn't even trying to like make it seem somewhat realistic.
Yeah.
He just went down and didn't want to get back up. And then the ref called it way too soon. Like he was standing, he was fine, and then the ref was like waved it off. It looks so fake to me. I was so turned off by this whole event based off of that. I don't know why we're giving this dude attention. I hate the Paul brothers. They're both idiots.
I'm the third.
And yeah, right. So I don't understand why they're famous. I don't understand what they're good at. I just know a bunch of moron Gen Zers are watching this shit and paying him good money to fuck around and film porn or whatever he's doing. I don't get it. I sound like I'm 85 right now, but I am so out on all of that.
I get what I do get what you're saying, John. I get what you're saying. If you take it from like a real level, you're 100% right. But like I'm just taking it from the perspective of kind of how nuts this whole thing. I take it with a grain of salt, and I think it's he's so crazy. Like I just like look at him, and
it's all fake. It's all staged. Like everything's written.
And if it is, it is. Like I had a great time. It was all just dumb, funny, stupid shit. It's just seeing people take things as seriously as Jake Paul is taking this, even if it is. Let's say like it is all fake.
What arguments to say it's not?
I truly, genuinely don't have one. I don't have one. But that's the thing. Like, it's also like, because we were talking about yesterday, because Clay was watching it with us, and he said, yo, man, I think he took a dive. I think Ben Askren
so obvious.
took a dive. Because when you look at Ben Askren, Gene, there's a clip of Ben Askren, who was the person who fought Jake Paul, obviously. There's a clip of him fighting Robbie Lawler in his first or second UFC match ever. First. And Robbie Lawler is absolutely raining thunderous fucking punches on his face, and Ben Askren's just fucking eating them. I mean, eventually he does get like knocked out, but they don't call it or whatever. But like he's eating them, and he stays alive. And Jake Paul hits him with one punch, and he goes down. I will say, Mike Platinum Perry, who has God's gift tattooed on his stomach, all-time tattoo. Gene, all-time tattoo. God's gift.
Gene.
And he's like not even a good fighter. Like, what are you gifting people?
It's so funny. He's one of the best things about Platinum Perry is he stopped. He was like, I don't need coaching anymore. My chick's gonna be my fucking trainer.
I remember this, and I think he won that fight.
He won that fight. Won that fucking fight. He talked about how, because I mean, let's be clear. I mean, as much as it seems like it's fake, Ben Askren barely threw any punches. I don't even know if he threw one. I didn't watch the fight again. Jake Paul still has good punches. He can still, like, he looks like he can box. He can box. I've said this from the get-go. I don't know if he's like, I don't know the levels of his. I always say he's good for a regular dude, like a regular guy on the street. He'll fuck you up. But I still like. I don't think like if he fights Dylan Dennis, I think Dylan Dennis is gonna fuck him up. Like if he fights Dylan Dennis, if he fights, a UFC fighter that's not retired, I think he's gonna fuck him up. But
I want him to
This
fight
is
the
just
guy
like
who
some
knocked out the
concept.
Bruce Campbell guy from Walmart.
yeah,
That's who I want his next
the
fight.
Walmart guy.
What if
Walmart.
this is just some concept, like some wrestling shit, but we're just not in on it? I mean, this is the ultimate almost trolling. You know what I mean? Like, what if he's starting his own thing? I mean, obviously, it's making so much money.
So much money.
Yeah.
So it's like he's just doing he's just taking the reins from wrestling, which would be dope, kind of. I mean, what you described as that program sounds awesome. It sounds way cooler than anything else, honestly. I want to see that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a freak show.
It's a freak show. It's if every YouTube video ever had a collab in real time.
I love that.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so funny, dude. Like I'm telling you, like Jake Paul, him crying, him acting the way he acts, like him saying things like bro, I promise you I'll sleep Conor McGregor. I promise you, bro. Like, I'll sleep him. And he's like dead serious. Like, whether he's acting or not, it's hilarious that this person walks around this earth doing all those things.
What was the deal with him saying he had CTE, and then him like being, oh fuck, no I don't, I'm fine.
Who, Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
They found that he did like a pre-fight medical, and he said in an interview he let it like fly that he had like early onset CTE, which I don't think you're able to actually find that out unless they like open your brain up and shit.
He's like 24.
Yeah, and so he said that, and then he took it back later in the interview because they weren't going to let him fight because of that.
He's like a dumb person. He's a legit dumb person.
I think it's all persona he's putting on. That, I mean, it's working because, like Gene said, he's making a fuckload of money through it, and he's tricking everybody.
All right, so this is the amount.
Maybe it's his manager. Somebody's using this situation and this platform to make some great shit, like what you're saying.
But it's also like a phenomenal show. It's also like
that's what I mean.
It's so funny. Like, everything about it is so funny. So here's to was it rigged, right? Was it rigged? Askren makes $600K showing up, gets punched twice, and goes down. So he gets punched twice. He's got a cool $600K. He's seen walking to his locker room, laughing and smiling with his wife. And Askren was on record saying, like, if I lose, I don't care. I don't care. If I lose, if the only way he beats me is if he's a better fighter than me. But I'm to like everyone's saying, I really did think he took a dive. Even Daniel Cormier, like for my money, the third greatest fighter of all time, said he saw that video and he was like, what's going on here, Ben? Like, you're smiling, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Also, there was a dive in the previous fight. Like, it was so clear. The dude got hit. I mean, he was getting tooled up, and then he got hit, and then he just went down, and then Mario Lopez was like, this is just embarrassing. Like, we can see that you took a dive and all that shit. And
Mario Lopez knows boxing pretty well.
Fantastic. It's fantastic.
He's a good boxing analyst.
Mario Lopez versus Jake Paul. Something interesting. That
would be incredible.
It would be amazing. I mean, Mario Lopez wouldn't be ready for the Jake Paul antics. That's the thing. It's like his antics on top of everything else are this dude, the day after he knocked out Nate Robinson, he called out Conor McGregor. He goes to Conor McGregor's gym in LA. Dylan Dennis, who's Conor McGregor's trainer, black belt world champion jiu-jitsu. He shows up to Dylan Dennis outside doing an interview. Jake Paul grabs eggs and throws it at Dylan Dennis and hits Dylan Dennis with the eggs, and he's like, pussy. And Dylan Dennis wants to fight this guy. Dylan Dennis chases him. It's like WWE, but real, quote unquote. If it is, you know what I mean? Like, it's fantastic that Jake Paul blew up fast because he's willing, like his brother, to do what other people aren't willing to do, to look cringe as fuck and embarrassing on the internet and not give a fuck. Like to have
I feel like
moral
they don't.
compass.
Yeah, I don't think they're playing a part in terms of like how they. I bet you that's how they are, but I feel like they use their platform to instigate fights, to be able to throw the check in somebody's face. Like, okay, let's do it. I'll pay you $600K, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's genius.
Yeah,
Because people are invested on it's almost like an after schoolyard fight. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. With Snoop Dogg commenting and Pete Davidson coming on.
Anybody who will take a check. It's just
anybody who'll take
yeah.
I don't know what the marketing budget was, but you had Justin Bieber, Doja Cat, Diplo,
Justin Bieber was there?
Major Lazer, Too Short, Ice Cube, all rapped, all performed.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be like 20 million. I mean,
How many masks do we have going on here?
None. Zero. Don't even. Of
that
course
wasn't
there
in the
wasn't a mask.
budget.
It wasn't. They spend it all on rappers,
Yeah.
weed, and cocaine. Check this out. There's 1.3 million pay-per-view buys and $65 million in revenue. Jake Paul, because he had pay-per-view buys in the contract, made anywhere from 15 to 20 million. And on his last fight, where he was the co-main, he made 10. This dude is out here.
How much is going to expenses on that?
Fuck if I have no idea. But Jake Paul is genius is thrown around a lot, like Tekashi 6ix9ine, all this shit. And what I think is that they're just willing to do what other people are like, I would never do that.
There is a genius in that circle, though. It's probably not them, but whoever's driving the car is a fucking genius.
I mean, making in 6 months, he made $30 million alone in boxing. He's not a professional boxer.
Right.
Fucking, there's, Teofimo Lopez, who's the undisputed champion, can't even make $30 million because he doesn't have the people who want to see him. I mean, it's just fucking Honduras. That's only 2 million people.
And only 4 of them got TVs. No, but I mean, they probably, I bet you there's somebody in there who's like somehow linked to the money team, figuring out how to fucking squeeze some money out of this.
The older brother is supposed to fight Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. That was announced.
The older brother, and then is that that's not Jake Paul?
No, that's Logan Paul. Logan Paul's the oldest one.
That's who was just on WWE.
Yes.
And that's the Japanese Suicide Forest guy.
And he's supposed to. And Floyd Mayweather's like, yeah, I'll fight you.
Damn.
It's just dudes trying to get just cut a check, man. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
get off my lawn. Can't have it.
And there's nothing wrong with that opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with that opinion.
Yeah.
But I do think
a mess. I love it.
I do think like if you come over to this side, it would just be way funnier. Like if you see it the way I see it, it's so funny. Like this dude.
Next one's gonna have like Bad Baby as a ringside girl. You hear about that shit? Her fucking
she started
her OnlyFans
made $1 million.
7 million subscriptions on the first 6 hours. Shattered records.
Those are pervs, man.
Like the nation, though.
She turned 18.
There's so many guys who are just like, "Come on, turn 18."
Such a strange thing. That's such a weird thing. It's so weird. It's such a. I'll never understand that. It's just like an 18-meter countdown. It's so strange. All right.
I see high school chicks and I just want to run. Like it's just nothing more annoying. I don't understand the appeal.
It's weird. Gene.
Yeah.
You seen Steph Curry? John, I know you seen Steph Curry. You not seen Steph Curry?
This weekend, I have no clue.
All right, let
I
me.
caught
What he's
bits
been
and
up to.
pieces of the Celtics game the
All
other
right,
day. I mean, he's playing out of his mind. It just sucks that this is the team.
Yeah, because they fucking suck. Over the last
Yeah.
5 games, Curry is averaging 42 points per game on 58% field goal, 54% from 3, and 91% from free throw. He's absolutely dominating the fucking 50-50-90 club.
Yeah.
What's the Warriors' record in those games?
Oh, dude, they're
They're doing pretty
Over?
good.
over those games. They're 5-5. The last 10 games, they're 5-5. Then that's what's the best part about. Like, that's not what the best part is, but that's what's like. What are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do. Over the last 10 games, they're 5-5. On the night that he dropped 42, he had a 98.5 true shooting percentage. That's insanity.
And then Wiseman just snapped his MCL, right? So he's
Yeah.
done for
And
the year.
Draymond sucks. And there's nothing that this team can do, and there's nothing that Steph Curry can do, who I think is playing the best basketball in the world besides Nikola Jokic. I still think like Steph Curry's playing better, but what are you gonna do? And they're not even gonna make the playoffs.
They
They're
might.
They're gonna make a playing game.
Yeah.
As a 10 seed, right?
They're the 9th seed right now. The Pelicans are the 11th. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't think they're going to make it. They're going downhill. If he has to play this well for them to go 500, it's not going to happen, man. You can't rely on Kelly Oubre and what's his name, Andrew Wiggins.
That's the thing. It's like they're not even trying. I've been watching the Warriors, and it's just like he just keeps throwing them up, and they just keep going in. It's not even like It's not even like he's really busting his ass out there. It seems like
Yeah.
he just makes it look so easy. I mean,
I was going to say, like, he moves around a lot, but
he does.
I mean, I just, like I said,
it still doesn't seem like they're like overusing him though. You know what I mean? Like when you watch some teams and you're like, man, like if this guy goes down, the whole thing's going down. It doesn't even seem like it's like that. He's just dominating, like almost half on purpose.
And they still fucking kind of suck.
500.
Like
They're doing better than they should be though.
Yeah, I mean that
team stinks.
Yeah, but I said from like when you watch that team play, if you just watch them play like 5 games, that's all I needed to know when I watched them play 5 games. Not that I'm some basketball savant, because I'm not. I'm far like from that. I'm a dumb idiot. But like I know watching that team play multiple, because I used to gamble on them. I stay away from them now. I knew. Well, I kind of stayed away from the NBA until April, or I guess till May. But you could just tell, like, this team stinks. Like they struggle. I don't know what they have to do. I don't know what's going to happen with Klay Thompson when he comes back, because now he's going to come back with an Achilles and an ACL. So it's like, what's he like? And his game is predicated on running around, off ball, screen movement, and
defense.
Yeah, and defense and lateral movement. His game is, so who the fuck knows what's going to happen with that?
I think Kevin Durant, KD, he's like been the first athlete I think has come back from an Achilles, snapping and looked somewhat similar or better than what he does before. But yeah, you're right. I can't remember anyone before that being like even half decent after an Achilles.
No, look at Boogie Cousins.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
And
How was Kobe after he snapped his? He was pretty much, his career was done anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean he was having a good season, and then after that it was just too much, too many miles, too much. And then Kevin Durant also like tweaked some shit today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Saw that.
Mm.
So
I feel like we're in a weird period of the season.
Of sports.
Like mentally, I'm like I can't connect as much right now, because I feel like my body is prepared for the playoffs, but I feel like we're not even that close.
Yeah,
I think it's because we've had like a lot to watch since August.
Yeah.
Or July, when all the sports came back in July and August, and they've just been like played a continuation of that. We're not in like that second season. It seems like it's just continuing from that.
Yeah. We binge watch sports.
Yeah.
We binge watched like a season of Lost or 2 seasons straight of Lost, and now we're just like, ugh. It's like when I binge watched what's that David Lynch show?
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. It's like when I binge watched Twin Peaks, and I was like, oh man, I need a fucking break.
You did?
Yeah, man.
I never knew you went into that show.
Yeah, I watched all of season. I watched the whole show, and then I waited till I got to the series finale, and I just never watched it. I still to this day have no idea.
And you don't care.
Don't care. Couldn't care less.
Great show though, right?
It is. It was a really good show. But we got to the series when I got to the series finale, I was like,
I haven't watched it at all, so I don't know.
I'm gonna take a break, and then it just never felt like it.
But you did start watching that F1 series, right? I think you mentioned that.
F1 is good. Gene, that's a show you should get on. F1 documentary.
Wait, what Formula One drivers?
What are you into these days?
Oh man. Housewives of Potomac.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Sorry.
Is somebody driving a car?
I got a chopper gang circling my house right now.
Oh, your window's open. I was like, what the hell's going
on? Yeah, Potomac. I've been fucking around with the circle.
The social one?
Yeah, it's pretty whack.
No, I don't want any part of it.
No, thank you.
Well, I was pretty into season 1. I'm just not connecting with this one. Great season of 90 Day Fiance. That's wrapping up tonight. The tell all.
I gotta get in on that. I tried and I couldn't do it.
It's crazy to me because I think it's just leagues ahead of most reality TV shows.
I'll try it again.
I can't watch reality TV, man. It just sucks.
Oh, it's so good, John.
Nah, it's great.
Best. It's so funny.
It's
so great. Johnny, have you ever watched Big Brother?
I watched like the first season of Survivor when I was like 12. That was it. I just don't like watching morons just do shit.
That's what I love more than anything.
It seems like the dumbest waste of my time.
Yeah, but like I don't want to I don't know. I just figure like I'd rather do that than I don't know. Do most things to be.
I'm that way with like those murder mystery shows. I have cousins out in Texas that'll watch like those serial killer documentaries, and I'm like, I only have so much free time. I'm not just trying to spend that free time from work or whatever trying to be negative or sad. You know, I want to be happy and like watch sports, obviously, which doesn't make me happy most of the time, but you know,
our curse to bear.
Yeah, and so I just don't understand the appeal. I mean, I understand it's a big industry and a lot of people are into those kind of shows, but it's just not for me, man. Like I can't rationalize being into that kind of stuff.
Wait, so what do you watch in your downtime?
I'll watch like a lot of sci-fi stuff, like Star Wars, obviously, all the Marvel stuff, all the series on Disney Plus.
Like perhaps Star Trek Next Generation?
No, I'm not a big Star Trek person.
Gee,
I heard it. You know what I heard, which kind of made me like have like a weird kind of feeling is I mentioned to a friend that I was like, yeah, I've gotten really into Star Trek Next Generation. And someone was like, you know, it's like a really big communist show.
Is that a thing?
I mean, yeah, it looked it up, and apparently a lot of like communist and super socialist-minded people are into Star Trek Next Generation.
That's
kind of had me confused about my own views about what I think is real. You know, what I think is a good idea.
Just like sweating in the middle of the night. I thought I was a capitalist.
Yeah. Is it just because they're spreading their ideology around the universe at one time at a time? Yeah, there's just
kind of like there's kind of a uniformity. You know, like kind of the idealistic uniformity of like worlds that they go to, and you know, just the hierarchy of the Enterprise. And
let me ask you something, Gene. Is there
a white guy?
Is there a lot of bland colors?
Oh, incredibly bland colors. It is pretty. Once I heard it, I was like, I know exactly what they mean by this.
The communist vibe. It had such a communist
anybody
vibe.
Who's listening to this who likes Star Trek Next Generation and doesn't know why, maybe look into communism.
Start reading Marxism.
Yeah. I was gonna say Karl Marx, big fan of that guy, right? No. Yeah, but so like, I'm a much bigger Star Wars guy. I'll do anything Star Wars. Obviously on Netflix, the F1 show, Disney Plus, like I said, all that. Apple, is it Apple Plus? Whatever the
Yeah.
fuck, they need to differentiate these names, but Apple Plus has a For All Mankind show. It's all about NASA. If Russia was the first nation that made it to the moon, so it's like a rewriting of the history of NASA, which is I think awesome. They're in their second season right now, and it's really fucking good. And they release their episodes like once every Friday. So I like the way that's happening. So it's not all
So you're a drama
put
guy.
out.
You're a drama guy.
Not even drama. It's got to be like oriented towards something like I'm interested in, like space, obviously,
Sounds like space.
or sports. Ted Lasso on
Ted Lasso's
Apple TV was really good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I really liked it. I didn't think I would like that because I don't really like TV shows that showcase sports because they most of the time do it incorrectly. But this one did it really well.
Also,
really
you have
liked
to like suspend disbelief a lot of the time. And yeah, it sounds like you're not a suspend disbelief kind of guy.
Well, sometimes it's just like unrealistic. Like, oh, we found this Croatian defender that we just never mentioned him in the show, and I'm like, you would always mention that guy in the show, and like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's unrealistic.
Gene,
This show's pretty realistic.
you got to watch Ted Lasso. It's phenomenal. You like watch the first episode and you think to yourself, "There's no way I'm going to fall in love with this show at all. This is so unbelievable. It makes zero sense." And then you finish a season in 2 nights. It's awesome.
I heard it's got a real like Cobra Kai vibe to it. You know what I mean? It's cute and stupid, but you just end up liking it.
Extremely
Is Cobra Kai
wholesome.
good?
Everybody I know who's watched it loves it. I haven't watched it.
John, have you watched Cobra Kai?
I've watched like Karate Kid 3, but not the first 2. In like
The one,
probably
The one
20
with Hilary
years.
Swank?
yeah, the
Yes.
one with Hilary Swank.
I've watched that one like 5 years ago, but the 1 and 2 I haven't watched since I was
That
maybe
shit
like
is so
7.
trash.
I've
And
never.
so
Go ahead. Sam.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I watched those first 2 since I was like 7, so I have like I have like bits and pieces of like the memory of that, and so I've just never jumped on that franchise.
I've never seen the full Karate Kid movie. I've never even seen Karate Kid 2. The only thing I've ever seen is Wax On, Wax On, and it cracks me up. Anytime I hear anybody talk with a Brooklyn or a Bronx accent, I just start laughing. It's just so funny to me. So just hearing, yeah, Mr. Miyagi.
The only reason
That guy's great, Ralph Macchio.
I was gonna say the only reason I actually watched those movies is because I was watching the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they referenced the wax on stuff, and I'm like, Dad, what's that from? And he's like, oh, it's from Karate Kid, and so that's why I was like, I gotta watch that next. They're doing karate, and he's a kid. This is awesome. And then I haven't watched it since.
Hey, remember the 3 ninjas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rocky Loves Emily. Tum Tum.
Rocky, Tum Tum. Who's the older one?
Ralph?
Damn.
No. There's another. There's 3 of them, right? There's Rocky, Tum Tum.
Rocky, Tum Tum.
Who's the third brother?
Michael?
No, dude, it's like some badass name.
Because I know that I did look this up not that long ago, and their last name was Douglas, and I remember one of them is named as Michael Douglas.
Colt?
Colt is the name.
No, that guy's.
I knew it was a badass name.
I don't know if Colt's a
I gotta
badass.
watch that again.
I remember the last one I remember was when they were in Magic Mountain and Hulk Hogan was in it. I remember thinking that one's not very good. But let's do some Kevin Durant stuff.
Can't believe there are 3 Ninja movies. That's insane.
Insane. Tum Tum. I just remember.
Yo, the 9th Fast and the Furious? I just saw the trailer today.
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm into those
John
too.
Cena's Vin Diesel's brother?
Come on.
What?
Wait, you know what we should do? Do you know what we should do? When does it come out?
End of May,
I
I
don't
think.
know. It's got to be soon.
So there's 9.
I wrote it down on my calendar. Hold on, let me look at it.
Yeah, let's do it.
When do you think they'll stop?
Fucking, I hope it goes till I have grandkids, and I'm like, hey, I remember in Fast 15 when.
Bro, I wouldn't be surprised if a Paul gets into one of those movies.
June 25th, and yeah, that's a good call, Gene. I think F10 is going to have both of them and they're going to be streetcar drivers from like New York or something. And
they're both younger brothers of John Cena and Vin Diesel. They're just all brothers.
They're Paul Walker's little brothers.
And they actually like beat up Toretto and fucking The Rock. This is okay. So it's June 21st. We're gonna figure out the timeline, and what we should do is review Fast 1 through Fast 8, and we'll have a review once a week. Are you ready?
Fine. I'm fine on that.
Sign me the fuck up. I will do that gladly.
Okay, I'd get it. I'll get in on that.
I'll do it right now. You want to write it down right now?
I can already tell you which ones are the best.
Wait, okay, let's do it. Let's rank our Fast 8, and then we'll get into this, and we'll figure out the timeline, and we'll figure out when to do it. But we're not reviewing like Fast 1 now. I just recently watched Fast 2 Furious. Still,
it's amazing.
Fuck, put it in the Criterion Collection.
I say Fast 5 is the best.
Is that Brazil? It's the best.
Yeah.
One of the best action movies I've ever seen in my life. Hand to God.
Pretty unbelievable. And the whole basis of the movie's so sick.
Crazy. That's when
they live in these mansions in Brazil in the beginning, and at the end they're just back in East LA, baby.
And it's family.
Hell yeah.
Family.
Tokyo Drift's for sure the lamest.
Whoa.
The Fast and the Furious is the lamest.
Nah, what? The first one?
No, the fourth one.
The one with no. The Fast and the Furious is the one that came out in 2017.
Oh, the one after Tokyo Drift.
That one's Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious is by far
where Dom returns.
That's by far the lamest one. Actually, I'd have to rewatch that. I don't know.
That's the one where they go over the border to Mexico.
That you're right. I kind of forget. I thought Hobbs and Shaw was fucking sick.
Dude, put it in the Criterion Collection.
Hobbs and Shaw was dope because there was like no cars in it. It was like no.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Super soldiers, bro.
If I swear
to
God,
Black Superman.
If I was a billionaire and I had an unlimited budget, I don't know. That's a stupid take. Never mind. I'll just say it. But
no, now you gotta say it.
Disregard everything I was gonna say in earnest. But if I was a billionaire and I would do a 4-year consideration ad campaign of why Fast and the Furious should be nominated for Oscars.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. Whatever. The Oscars are stupid too. The Oscars are trivial, meaningless awards. But all right, before let's do Kevin Durant. We'll figure out.
I don't disagree about the Criterion Collection.
It's incredible.
Down the line, yeah. Bro, I saw a movie on the Criterion Collection real quick.
Yeah.
It was called Death Race 2000.
That movie's sick.
You seen it?
It's in the Criterion Collection?
It's from like the 60s.
Oh, I'm talking about Jason Statham's Death Race 2000.
That was a sick movie. I wanted that car
maybe they use the same ideas. You tell me if you guys have seen it. Basically, it's from coast to coast, nation to nation race.
Yeah.
And the objective is to get as many points as possible in the process. And the only way to get points is to kill people with your car.
Yeah, it's Death Race.
I thought that was just a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know it came from a movie.
Oh, shit. That's tight.
Yeah, I guess we watched 2 different ones. I guess, obviously, the one with Jason Statham is based on the one you saw in the Criterion Collection.
Yeah, crazy. The one I saw was with the fucker who was Bill in Kill Bill. And he wore like a gimp. Thing.
Oh.
Well, it's kind of the same movie. Because that's the same thing that Statham wore. He was Frank.
Oh, he did?
He was supposed to be the Frank or whatever.
That's right.
And then he wore a mask. Yeah. And then he reveals his identity, and finally people figured out, and he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, so I guess the whole premise was stolen from a 60s movie.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's
who knew?
So that studio is going to get sued eventually.
I'm sure it was a reboot.
Yeah.
Right.
What were the points they were racing from?
Just coast. It was very vague. It was like only an hour and 4 minutes. It was like super short.
There's nothing more I love than a movie being vague.
Totally, because it was just like randomly cut to a news thing, and then you're like, oh, and they just explain exactly what the movie's about. It was just like such a mess, but it was dope. But yeah,
you got to race across Luxembourg or something.
As possible. Kill them.
All right, let's do Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is the epitome of petty. Have we all seen the video?
Yeah.
John, have you seen the video?
It's the one with Rappaport.
No, it's the one with Gilly the Kid, and what's his name, Wallow. So
Who are these people? I'm sorry.
they have a podcast, $1 million worth of games. They're rappers, or I mean, they talk about black stuff. They talk about the community, and they talk about hip hop, which is not just black.
Black stuff.
That's
Black
not just black.
stuff, the
I had to add that
hip-hop.
caveat because I know like the way I led into it. I mean, obviously hip hop's not just black stuff, but what I'm saying is like they're I mean, they're a black podcast. I mean, that's how primarily
Black culture.
that's how they primarily market themselves. So they had Kevin Durant on and asked Kevin Durant to rank his five best teammates, his 5 best teammates of all time. And he went through his list. Who do you think he left out then?
Gotta be Westbrook, right?
Yeah, he left out Westbrook. All right, I thought it was Adam. So he left out Russell Westbrook, and he put in Ibaka, Ibaka Flocka Flame, instead of Russell Westbrook, which I think is just like really. It's like at least put a believable guy in. At least put a believable guy in like Draymond, where you can still be like, okay. But he has Kyrie 1, he has Harden 2, he has Steph 3, Clay 4, and then he went Ibaka.
That makes sense to me.
And he didn't put Draymond on. And
No, Draymond's probably not even top 10, dude. And then that makes sense that he left Westbrook out because he just wouldn't pass him the ball and he made his life harder. And he's the reason he left OKC. At least when he played with Ibaka, that meant Durant didn't have to play the 4 or the 5. So for him, he's like, making my life easier. So that adds up for me.
It's actually not a bad explanation for it.
I kind of felt the same way. I mean, Ibaka was nice back then.
Yeah.
Nice. He was good.
He was a good-ass defender back then.
He was a really good defender, but he wasn't nice. Like, he wasn't setting up his own shots.
No, but he was solid as fuck on defense.
He was a solid player. I think I can understand when John breaks it down that way why in Kevin Durant's eyes it makes sense, because Kevin Durant's like, you made basketball more difficult for me. But
hell yeah.
But they're asking – I mean, it's – Russell Westbrook is obviously the better player of the two. Draymond, not even top 10. That's a take. Not even top 10.
Yeah, no. Because he bitched at him out of Golden State. I mean, he'd probably still be there.
Oh, I thought you were saying like Draymond's not – oh, but that
on
makes
his.
sense.
No,
Yeah,
prime Draymond is a great player, but he's
You're
only good like when you have the talent around him, like to be good.
Sure, yeah. But I thought you were saying that Draymond doesn't scratch your list of Kevin Durant's top 10 players, and I was like, oh.
I don't know. If anything, it's 9 or 10.
9 or 10?
Yeah, for sure.
He's like probably 6 or 7.
No.
Yeah.
Westbrook's 6.
Westbrook's probably 5, but we'll say Westbrook's 6.
No, I think he's 6.
Okay,
sure,
we'll
6.
say Westbrook 6. Who's 7?
Yeah.
Fucking McAdoo? Like, what are we talking about here?
Let's look. LaMarcus Aldridge, probably. Blake Griffin, 7,
No.
8.
I like the list though. I do like that. I mean, there's just
9.
no way. I feel you on the 7 on the.
I think
get the logic.
Iguodala is a better teammate to KD than Draymond.
That's fair in terms of just like what he did, but
Yeah.
Draymond was more valuable to the success of the team than Iguodala was.
If Draymond didn't have the 2 best shooters of all time on his team, he wouldn't pass into anybody. He didn't even sniff the NBA. His intangibles you don't find out unless you're on a winning team.
Yeah,
because you're looking at you can go to the Chicago Bulls right now and be like, who has the intangibles?
but that's
Nobody.
Not what
No one cares.
That's not what we're arguing. We're just, like the value of him on the team at the time. Like it's like for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but what did we all see? We all just saw them, Kevin Durant and Draymond Green, arguing all the time.
Yes, just Draymond Green's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But I'm not arguing Kevin Durant's list. I'm just saying my list is not Draymond Green 9 or 10.
Oh, yeah. Easy 9, 10.
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, who else? Iguodala.
So
Russell Westbrook.
You need one more guy at 8, and then it's easy 9 or 10. Who's the other guy? Who's the 8th guy?
Harrison Barnes. I don't know.
Didn't play with Harrison Barnes.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Oh,
There's
okay.
someone there.
Can't be that easy.
It's not.
Could be DeMarcus.
No.
But Boogie.
Trying to think who the fuck else was on the Thunder.
Barbosa.
Thabo.
Livingston.
Sean Livingston.
That's a solid pick. But you're picking from the vantage point of KD, not a fan.
Right, I get that now. You're picking from the vantage point of KD.
You literally talking about the guy who told him to fuck off, essentially.
Yeah, if that's the case, yeah, I mean, it's surprising that they still even fucking talk after.
I mean, they were just on a podcast together, right? I think Draymond went on KD's podcast. So, I think that's pretty smart because KD wanting his podcast to be popular, obviously bring that guy on because they were just talking shit out in the public on the court for so long. But yeah, I don't think they like each other, but he did it for business reasons.
What are your thoughts on KD? You guys like him?
Yeah, hell yeah.
No,
I like him too.
Hell yeah.
I kind of like it. At first I was like, man, this fool's always bitching on Twitter, but now I kind of see it as like this fool's just gangster on Twitter.
Yeah.
No, I think what Brian said is he's extremely petty, and I think he needs to just leave that shit alone because it's going to eat at him for the rest of his life. And people are already saying that he's never going to be better than LeBron, and that's going to eat at him. And yeah, it may drive him, but it just bugs the shit out of me that this bothers him. Like it shouldn't bother him.
John, can I make the case that you shouldn't let it bother you?
Oh, that I dislike Kevin Durant?
Like the same logic that applies to like Kevin Durant being like it bothers
I'm not
me.
a 7-foot NBA All-Star.
Right, but like at the same time he's just also a dude. Like in his mind, I don't think Kevin Durant
He's the second best NBA basketball player on the planet right now.
Yeah, I know.
And he's bitching on a social media app about teammates from the past. Maybe
but
I don't know.
I kind of fuck with it. Though.
I fuck with it too.
I kind of fuck with it because he's more like on some like I don't know, like the whole Michael Rappaport shit. I thought
doesn't it make you sad that there's no relief from pettiness even at that level?
But I don't think he's any better than me at life. I just think he's more talented at basketball. You know
I think he's way more honest than most.
Like I don't think he's like I don't think there's a superiority to him like on like an interpersonal basis.
It's almost like he's just a shitty role model. Like kids look up to him obviously, and
exactly
he's telling what he's doing right now. He's telling everyone it's okay to act like an asshole all the time.
I think he's just saying fuck the brand. I'm a basketball player first.
He's doing the Chuck. He's doing the Charles Barkley.
Yeah, just not funny. And then that's the reason that I feel like America doesn't really connect with it. But like if he was like cracking jokes, then people would be like, this guy, like he's a real character. But
yeah,
he has no
humor. I think that's also
just like doesn't give a fuck. He's just gonna let you know exactly how he's feeling.
He's also that's a very good point. Is that he's just not funny and he's
just not charming guy.
Everything so seriously.
Exactly.
Like everything is an attack.
Yeah.
And that's to me when he fucking it's just crazy to like to your point, John, it is crazy to be that petty, right? And I think like when you've achieved so much, it's crazy to be that petty. And I see your point in that regard. But I like go the other way where I go like it's kind of funny to be that petty when you have accomplished all that.
Yeah,
it's just sad to me. I'm like, dude, you have it all. Like, you have 3 championships or whatever it is, and it's just sad. I'm like, this is just not what people should aspire to be. When you're rich, famous, young, and you've accomplished so much, dude. Go smile somewhere. Go live on an island in the Caribbean and
But here's
chill.
the deal. Here's my argument. John, what do you do for a living? Or what did you do before your last job? Before your current job?
Oh, what did I do? I was a benefits specialist, I think.
Did you work with some people that you didn't like?
Oh yeah, still do. Yeah.
Yeah. And someone asked you about those people that you didn't like at your last job?
I'm not going on social media talking about them. No,
Yeah, but people aren't on social media asking you.
no, that's true. But I don't. I mean, I don't have
I'm
30
saying like,
million
okay, like if
followers.
you ask me about my old boss Joel has no say about my life now. You know what I'm saying? I'm at a new job. I got a new boss. If someone put a camera in my face, put a microphone, they were like, "Yo, what do you think about Joel?" I'd be like, "Fuck that fool." Like, you know what I mean? I made a lot of money under him. I fucking am very thankful for my time at the Clippers, but that fool is a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nobody's asking me. People are asking KD, and he's just like, I don't fuck with that fool.
Yeah, but you can
Fuck him.
smile about it and joke about it. He can't.
But that's what I'm saying. He's just not a funny guy.
He's just not a funny guy.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
he's
But
not. He's
like
not charming at all.
all the things that he's doing, I feel him because it's just like it's just fucking. He's just keeping it real in this like not a way that we are like used to because he has no charm.
But there are more sides to you than just being petty. Like you have funny sides, I'm sure. A friendly side, obviously, I think Brian would attest to because he's known you longer. But this guy, it just does not seem like. I mean, who are his best friends in the NBA?
Michael Beasley.
Like, who does he hang out with? We see
That's his
LeBron
boy.
hanging
That's
out
who
with.
he grew up with.
We see LeBron hanging out with CP3 and Melo all the time, and then
I know he's best friends with Damian Lillard.
Kevin Durant's also really close to Kyrie Irving.
Damian Lillard's
Now.
dumbass serious.
I think he's close to Blake Griffin.
And DeAndre.
Yeah. But you don't see that. Like somewhere along the line, he's not telling his story correctly because we don't see that. We see LeBron doing that shit all the time.
Well, LeBron's
the 180 of Kevin Durant.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's just all a fucking dog and pony show.
LeBron, I could argue.
And he's funny.
But see, I don't think LeBron is funny.
I don't think LeBron's funny.
I think LeBron is corny. I love what LeBron James does.
What was that Amy Schumer movie? He was actually pretty funny in.
Trainwreck.
Yeah,
Trainwreck.
I thought he was pretty good in that.
He wasn't bad.
Yeah, he's an actor. He's acting 24/7.
I do.
Act. It's
Wait,
entertainment.
you know what? Okay, I'm gonna say this. You know, minus the Mamba mentality, like prior to Mamba mentality, Kobe was an asshole.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And
me and Brian were just talking about this.
Bad boy.
Me and Brian were just talking about this was last week. I'm like, dude, he was a dick to everyone,
bro,
until he started having kids, and then like he's realized, oh, I got to be a good person now, and that's it.
And maybe once Kevin Durant has some children, maybe he'll get a personality and be funny. I don't know. Maybe he'll start seeing. That was a joke. That was a bomb.
I got an interesting on the subject of Kobe being a dick. Obviously, I'm a huge Kobe fan. This is no disrespect, but if you want to really hear some interesting shit, listen or read The Last Season by Phil Jackson.
That's right.
Crazy. I mean, crazy.
He was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, John, you didn't grow up in Southern California. You weren't like a huge Laker fan growing up, were you?
No. I lived here till age 6, and then I moved back at 13.
Gotcha. So I feel like people our age who grew up in LA watching the Lakers, this really just is like a Santa Claus isn't real type of story. It really makes you be like, damn, this team sounded awful to be around.
Yeah.
I mean, Kobe was a huge asshole, and it seemed like Phil Jackson was also kind of a huge asshole, and Shaq was a huge asshole.
They did not seem fun after like everything that's come out. Everyone's made money off whatever book or whatever podcast or whatever documentary they released. It just does not seem like a good time to be around that.
No,
I think it also part of it. Like, I'm not trying to. I don't think you. And I think Kobe learned that you can be a master at your craft, be kind and be giving at the same time. And I don't think that Kobe understood that. At age 21. When he won his first title, like you shouldn't. It's like the great Mike Wilbon always said. When he was talking about LeBron and everything that LeBron was going through, I remember he always said he was like, Jordan didn't do it quickly. Jordan waited until he was 27, had to wait till he was 27, and he did it through pain and suffering. You have to suffer to win some championships, and I think for Kobe it came relatively quickly and relatively easy because he had Shaq. you know, but at the same time, like, you know, 2001, that year of the Lakers, like, you can make arguments that Kobe was the better player on the court. There's a reason why it was so difficult to the last year of the three-peat, excuse me. There's a reason why it was so difficult to 102. There's a reason why, like, you know, it was such a problem between the two, because Shaq also saw, like, fuck, man, this guy's phenomenal. He was an all-star at 19. It's just one of those things where he was so obsessed with it that he just had no he had no personality. Like, he had no.
Yeah, but I
to
feel
rap,
like
too.
that
was
caused
weird.
friction to a certain extent, but the other shit is just like beyond petty.
Yeah,
Like when he got caught with the whole Denver chick,
yeah.
and he goes to the thing, he goes, everybody does, everybody cheats. Shaq cheats on his wife all the time.
Jesus.
I mean, shit like that is where it's like, damn, like it has
He was
nothing to do with
selfish.
like who's gonna score more points. It was literally just like, you know,
Petty.
petty.
But I don't want to I'm not trying to defend anybody here. All I'm saying is just an observation I made, and then we should get into Dodgers Padres recap. It's NBA players are the pettiest motherfuckers that ever exist. NBA players are fucking spoiled fucking brats, dude. Centers, these guys, like, all these motherfuckers, like, at this now, they grow up in AAU tournaments with everything fed to them. Athletes too, like football players, all of them, like, they're just petty, dude. Basketball players are the pettiest dudes. Like, that's what I've learned in just, like, covering sports, watching sports. Like, they seem to be the pettiest.
I think it's because there's so few of them.
Also, because they have such a they have such a control over what happens on the court. Like, it's way different when you play football, right? If you're a wide receiver, you know, or a lineman, it's 1 of 11 on one side. It's way different with soccer, you know, unless you're Messi. You know,
And they got the platform.
and they have the platform.
No helmets. You know what I mean? Like they get the shoe deals. They get to. I mean, they're way more intertwined with culture and you know just what's going on than any other sport athlete. I think.
I mean, Kyrie can win a game on his own. You know, that type of power, that type of control over on the court can lead to, you know, and whatever Kyrie goes through is whatever he goes through. I've always just felt like he needs to communicate to the organization that pays him money, not to anybody else. He doesn't owe me an explanation. He doesn't owe Twitter an explanation. But I mean, as long as, you know, Steve Nash knows why the fuck he's leaving, I think that's fair. I think that he should say, like, hey, Steve, I'm taking personal reasons. I need some time. It's very serious, and it's personal. And he doesn't have to explain why he's leaving, other than, like, it's personal. It's very serious. Like, but, like, sometimes he just disappears for fucking a week, and then and it seems as if nobody in the organization knows, because that's what they've led, you know, journalists to believe, and it trickles down to, you know, sports Twitter, and you're like, what the fuck is that? That's lunacy behavior. You can't just do that shit. But like basketball players, and I know that's an extreme case, but like, I always feel like basketball players are very petty, and I feel like that's, like, you know.
Going back to the Kyrie stuff, it's a weird gray area because, like, obviously as humans, he should be able to take time off or have a personal day or whatever. But then, like you mentioned, you're on the other side of that where it's like it's a business, man. Someone spent like several paychecks possibly to go see you play, and 3 days before you're like, I'm not going to be there. And imagine if like a kid is like buying your shoes, which are very popular for Kyrie and Nike, and saying, hey, man, I know you've been planning this trip out to New York City to come see your favorite player for 2 months, but homie needs to, you know, get his mind right, and he's going to be gone for a week. Like, imagine that happening. You can't just do that because people look up to you, man. And it's like, this is not okay. But at the same time, as a human, it should be okay. So it's like like I said, a weird gray area with him. Where it just kind of sucks. It's just like, yeah, we all obviously over the course of the last year with the world being on fire, we obviously understand when someone needs like a mental break, especially with everything he's involved with, all his charity and organizations and all the public speaking he's done, and, you know, whatever's going around, you know, people getting killed by cops and whatnot. It's taken a toll on him, the rest of America, obviously, but at the same time, you're like, damn it, dude. Like, people looking up to you. We need to know if you're gonna be here or not. So
Yeah.
it's like I see both sides of it, and it's just not like we can tell them to do either or, right?
Yeah, it is it's complicated, man. It's complicated. I don't know, it's weird. And like like you said, they're all complex human beings, and that's why I think Kevin Durant should, just fucking let it rip. And then with Kyrie, I don't know. It's tough. But let's do some Dodgers Padres recap. There was like almost a fight. I saw that.
Yeah, it was almost a fight when
That would have been sick.
Dodgers reliever Dennis Santana almost hit pinch hitter Jorge Mateo on Friday night. I think that was in the 11th or 10th inning. Um, and honestly, TV angles, you couldn't really tell who started it. Obviously, the pitcher hit the batter, so that was kind of the start of it. But then you didn't see who said what first. Both guys were, coming at each other a little bit, had to get restrained. And which was really funny, I was talking to a buddy earlier this morning about how the bullpens had to come out and they're running side by side. And then they were on the opposite side of each other. So they had to crisscross in the outfield. And that could have been another skirmish, but for whatever reason, it never is in baseball. So they're coming and they have to crisscross to their dugouts at second base and
That's
then
really funny.
and then get involved. And so it's just the whole brawls with the bullpen thing is always really funny when it's the opposite side. It's not on the side of your dugout. So a third base dugout would be right field bullpen. And then, vice versa on their side. And that was just the start. That was game one of the series in a 3-game set. I know on Thursday we talked about how this was the first matchup for Vegas is two most likeliest teams to win the World Series this year, why I thought it was a big deal. But yeah, that first one, it was a nail biter. Padres tied it bottom of the ninth, obviously, all at 6. And then they just kind of ran away with it in the extra innings. The Dodgers did to win that 11-6. And then on Saturday when Kershaw pitched, it was just a classic pitcher's duel with him and Darvish. What's funny is that they're throwing partners in Dallas in the offseason because obviously Kershaw's from Dallas and then Darvish lives there because of his time with the Rangers. So them facing each other was pretty cool to see. And both obviously did well up until the later innings with the Dodgers prevailing there, winning a series. And then today was both teams getting to show off their new shiny toy with Trevor Bauer with the Dodgers, Blake Snow with the Padres. They both pitched pretty well for the most part. And then the Padres, stole a game there in the 8th inning to make sure they didn't get swept, which I think was good for baseball because it shows hey, Dodgers bleed a little bit. They actually, they're human. They're not this insane force going across baseball this year. So it'll be interesting to see how it continues. But man, it's the first of these 3 games are the first of 19 that they're playing in the regular season.
Yeah, they play next week.
Yeah, they play next weekend in LA. So it's going to be an interesting go of it. I've obviously had a lot of fun on Twitter with Padres fans. And I went to go watch today's game at a buddy's place, and 5 Padres fans were there. And I was the only Dodgers fan, and it was awesome.
John.
It was awesome. And so now they're all texting me hey, man, when can you come watch another game at the house? Come on by anytime. And because of course, Padres won. And so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun summer, man. I can't wait for more of it. But yeah, I like I said, I can talk Dodgers baseball all day, especially when they play the Padres, because it's just now that the Padres are good, it's just fucking great.
Can I say it? What I want to talk about is how come baseball I feel like it's such a tease. I feel like baseball brawls are such a fucking tease, and it's it's just like you said, the bench is clearing and they have to crossing paths on the second base. I need somebody to throw a drop kick. I need somebody.
So a lot of the reasons that didn't happen is because of COVID, and so the league already had told people, hey, if you get too close, we're gonna find the fuck out of you or suspend you or whatever. And so
there you go.
All the coaches are coming out, and in baseball, it's not like basketball, or in football we really get fights, but in basketball we see that shit all the time. But we only have 3 or 4 coaches out there. In baseball, you have 6 or 7 of them, so they're all just corralling of 26 players for each roster to say, hey, don't get fined. It's almost like when there's a brawl in basketball and the minute you come off the bench you get suspended a game. All those coaches are like, stay the fuck on the bench, guys. We don't want you guys to get suspended for nothing. It's almost like that. And with COVID protocols this year and last year, they were pretty much just like, if you get anyone's face without a mask on and you're fighting, you're gonna get slapped twice. So that's mostly the motivation. If you want to look up a good fight, look up Amir Garrett challenging the entire Pittsburgh Pirates team last year.
Okay, I saw
that
that
shit
one.
was awesome.
That was sick when he charged the whole team and then he got tackled immediately. And by the way, whoever that coach was, who was like, come get some, and then didn't leave the dugout and thought he was sick because he like baited him into looking foolish, that's not sick.
Alex Cintron, the hitting coach for the Astros, baited Ramon Laureano in Oakland, the center fielder for the A's.
Yeah,
also last year.
Yeah, you gotta. If you can't in baseball, I feel like that only works in certain situations. But if you draw back, and you don't reciprocate the energy or the action, I think you look clownish because you just look like a pussy. You just look like you're not. You just look like you're just fucking like you're. What's the phrase? I'm talk is cheap.
You're like a
you don't walk the
fake
walk.
tough guy.
Yeah, fake tough guy. Thank you. Like a Ben Askren.
I tell my dog that all the time because he'll growl when he's playing with a toy, like at a dog park, and I know him very well, my dog, and he won't bite or shit. Like I'm like, stop being a fake tough guy. Like you're growling for no fucking reason. That's what that is. Growling, but with there's no bite, there's nothing at the end of it. You're just doing it just to seem tough, and you're not.
Yeah, I want to see fights, and I feel like if baseball had fight, which they never will, but if baseball had more fucking, if they were like bench clearing brawls and they didn't suspend people, it would just across the board it would look better. But like even hockey toned down the fightings and shit. Oh, Schwarber 463 walk off homer.
Yeah, it was a long one. I think now that we know about the CTE situation, the athletes can develop when they get hit on the head too often. I think the NHL is kind of like, well, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Europa. No, the FIFA League, the fake
Super
FIFA,
League.
The Super League, the fake whatever thing that's trying to ruin Real Madrid from winning more Champions Leagues. We'll talk about that, and then we'll finish off with my observations on Honeydew.
Yeah, sounds good. So today there was a press release pretty much came out. 12 European football clubs, soccer in America, obviously soccer is way better, are trying to found, or essentially did found, a Champions League replacement today. They don't like Champions League because they're not getting paid. So the winner for Champions League gets $100 million or 100 million euros. In this new thing, the winner would get 400 million.
Holy shit.
So they're gonna in that's all the participating teams. It's not even if you win. So 400 million is like guaranteed. They're splitting 3.4 billion over 15 teams. So check the math on that. I'm not sure if it's right or not, but
they did it with FIFA. They're doing it with FIFA, correct?
No. They are not doing it with FIFA. FIFA is like, fuck off, don't do this thing, because it rivals the Champions League, which FIFA runs, which currently exists.
I thought UEFA ran FIFA.
UEFA and FIFA are the same thing. UEFA is just a united European federation.
Yeah, that's what I
and then FIFA is like the over-encompassing of all of it. So
it.
think about FIFA is NFL, and then the AFC is UEFA.
Okay.
So it's just like a conference amongst the world. And so the 12 teams are AC Milan, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Juventus, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Real, as you mentioned, and Tottenham. And they're thinking about recruiting 3 more. They haven't said, but if you look at those teams, they're missing Germany and French teams. So it's most likely PSG, who has a bunch of oil money.
Dortmund.
And then Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich, the two biggest teams in Germany.
Yeah, most of the time it's the team. Those are the teams that end up in in the top 16 anyways.
Which is exactly why they're proposing this league.
Which is fine. But at the end of the day, it's also everyone's like last year. Who was the Dutch team that or 2 years ago?
Ajax.
Yeah, it's like every once in a while you get I called them Ajax, but every once in a while you get a team like that. And yeah, Yeah, like Frankie DeJong ended up like getting transferred and because
So
of the
imagine this.
season.
I'll kind of Americanize this. Now imagine if the 4 best teams from every NCAA basketball conference was like,
UCLA,
we're not going to play regular season anymore. We're just going to play against every conference's 4 best players or 4 best
everyone would
teams.
watch it. Everyone would watch it. It'd be sick.
But no, so like we were talking about the NCAA tournament a couple weeks ago. Imagine if that was gone and a replacement came where it was a champions like conference winners only. That would kind of suck because we would not have like an Oral Roberts like we did this year,
Yes.
or Stephen F. Austin like we had a couple of years ago. We like the Cinderellas.
To a point.
This will go away with the Cinderella kind of narrative.
That's
And
the thing.
so it's just a rich teams league essentially, and so the rich get richer, the poor are left outside to fuck around on their own.
Well, that's why I don't like it. I don't like it, but and at the end of the day, I do think like we love an underdog to a point. Like we love an underdog until the quarterfinal. We don't like love a underdog to get to the championship for whatever reason, which blows my mind. Like nobody would have watched Ajax, in the finals against against Bayern, that year. No one would have watched it. That's the thing. People want to see Real Madrid lose, or in my case, win, or they want to see Barcelona lose or win. Like those, and I personally would love to see a team. I love to see the underdog win the whole shebang. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I don't like this. I've never liked it. But then again, like UEFA, or the Champions League, like started in like 90?
The 50s, I think they were saying.
Technically, yeah, but it's like the NFL championship.
Different name, yeah.
The Champions League as the Super Bowl to Americanize it started in like 95, 94. So it's like it started in the 90s. So it's like
so
the branding did.
I mean, they're going to negotiate and try and find a way in because FIFA already came out and said anyone who participates in the Super League won't be like the players won't be able to compete in the World Cup. So if you're a player, you'd be like, well, fuck, I'm not going to play in the Super League, but also at the same time, I want the money. So they're going to go to negotiating table. Every side is going to try and get more money from, the Super League teams now are trying to get more money. And then FIFA is trying to make sure that these players don't leave. Because imagine a World Cup without Messi and Ronaldo and Zlatan and all these guys.
But FIFA
not
fucks
eligible.
around too much too, though. FIFA's a fucking giant fuck arounder.
Oh yeah, FIFA's need, obviously with the arrest that took place with FIFA, I think 3 or 4 years ago with Sepp Blatter and all those guys. They obviously need to be watched over a little bit better. But I think this might be a little eye opener for them and say, hey, maybe we need to get our shit together and appeal to the bigger teams now because it's not as exciting as it once was. And so maybe they take away a couple spots in the round of a group of 64 early on and dwindle it down to 32, make it a bit more competitive, add more games, whatever have you to do. But I think they might be able to just eliminate a couple countries because like the champions from like Lithuania or Latvia or Denmark.
That 1 year that Cyprus team made it, it's never like
So I mean, it just, like we said, it just came out today, so we'll see how it plays out. But it is interesting to see how it's going to play out.
Gene, here you go. You'll find this interesting.
Formula One.
Wait, oh yeah, we'll do the quick Formula One thing, and then we'll do Honeydew.
Oh yeah, so the race today, just quick 30 seconds. Lewis Hamilton fucked up on like lap 27. Spun out, was raining in Italy at the Imola racetrack. He had qualified first, so he was leader. He fucked up. Verstappen took the lead for Red Bull, kept the lead, and winning. But when Hamilton spun out, in my opinion, the best races are when something happens with Lewis Hamilton where he has to go back to the field. He spun out, was placed 9th, and made it all the way back to 2nd in like 20-something laps, which was impressive.
That's crazy.
So you really get to see how like talented that motherfucker is, as well as how nice, like how well put his car is with Mercedes. And then the second tidbit is that this weekend they announced that the U.S. is getting a second race in 2022. And I think it's a 5-year deal for Miami, which they are racing right outside where the Dolphins play
Wow.
They don't know when it's going to be held, but the current one, the Circuit of Americas, which is the one hosted in Austin, is in early November, late October usually. That one's going to maintain. That one's going to stay. From what I've heard, they're going to add this Miami one in the second quarter of 2022. So, which means anytime after April, before July. So it's going to be a summer one, which I think is really exciting. And as I've mentioned a million times on the show, Netflix is the reason for this shit. Formula One realized, hey, it's fucking huge, and we're huge in America now. Let's get a second race out there and take advantage of the popularity increase. And so they need to name it the Drive to Survive Grand Prix because Netflix did all this for them. Essentially, now having two races in the U.S., I think they're tied with maybe France has Monaco and one in Paris. French-ish area, but yeah, so that came out today too. So
It makes sense.
This would be so sick to go to.
Yeah, I've had friends that have gone to the Austin one and they say it's amazing. So, but I mean, Miami is way more appealing to me for like imagine going to a race and then go back to the hotel, take a little power nap, and then you go out to South Beach. Well, all the whole F1 scene is in South Beach. That would be an amazing weekend.
A lot of sharks. For what it's worth.
Half of Europe's going to be there, because of Formula One. So Formula One's huge everywhere except the U.S. and it's finally getting big in the U.S. and I think it's a great.
Yeah, Gene, you should watch it. It is really good.
Yeah, I should check that out.
It's really interesting. All right, I just want to do a quick little observation. I had made an observation today about Honeydew. So as I was at Costco doing grocery shopping, and there was a fruit bowl. It was pineapple, mangoes, grapes, strawberries, all the best stuff, and then it had honeydew and cantaloupe, and I immediately put it back, and I went, no, I'm not doing this. You're not gonna make me buy this, and then I have to either eat honeydew or throw this honeydew and cantaloupe away. I'm not doing it. And as I was saying that, an old lady, I was like, I'm not doing this. And the old lady walked by, and she was like, it's the honeydew, isn't it? And I went, yeah. If they didn't put the honeydew in there, I would buy it. And then she was like, I hate honeydew. It's horrible fruit. And then she said, if you started a petition, I'd sign it. And so.
And then you guys fucked.
Right in front of my girlfriend in the Costco aisle. So then I went and I was grabbing some grapes, and then I was a different elderly lady, and I out of the blue I was like, hey, just a quick question, because I saw seeded grapes. I was like, and then I saw seedless grapes. I was like, who the fuck would buy seeded grapes when there's seedless grapes, right? I am now
people that want to watch the world burn,
right? And I said to her, I said, hey, can I ask you a question? She said, yeah, shoot. She didn't say shoot, but she said, yeah. And then I said, would you? I said the same thing, and she was like, and then she thought about it, and she was like, huh, no. It's like the first time she's ever been asked that question. And then I said, hey, can I ask you another question? And she's like, yeah. You like honeydew? And then she said, no, I hate honeydew. And then we talked about the fruit bowl for like 2 minutes, and then we fucked. But so it got me thinking, right? I hate honeydew. I've hated honeydew for the moment. I hate it. It's not good, and I don't know who likes honeydew. So I did a poll. John, you voted anti-honeydew.
it was very strong anti-honeydew.
Very strong. I'm very strong anti-honeydew.
Shit. Maybe I need to swing back around, because I could have swore the last time I had it, I thought it was pretty good.
What are you talking about? Are you a fucking honeydew guy?
I thought it was. Is it not like sweet and refreshing?
It tastes like fucking asshole.
Huh.
What's
It's not
asshole
very
taste
good.
like?
Watery asshole.
Watery asshole. No, it's not good, man. There's no flavor. It just tastes like a fruit that hasn't riped and has no flavor. It's flavorless.
You like cucumber?
No. I like cucumber with a lot of salt that'll give me a heart attack, and lime.
The only well, this is gonna be weird. The only time I know of like cut up cucumber is used like for like put over your eyes for
Yeah.
like a what is that like a
Facial?
facial or yeah.
Yeah. Do you not
That's
know
the
what a
one.
facial is in the year 2021?
No. I was like obviously I don't get them, but like I don't put cucumbers on my eyes. But I was gonna say that's the only instance I know of a cucumber being used, but I know there are other instances that we won't get into.
Oh, okay. There's no doubt in my mind that somebody started putting cucumbers on eyes, like when they were doing facials, as like a, I don't know. Let's just do it. Let's just say
Yeah.
it's good for you.
It's one of those things where you're
It's
like, who was
organic,
the
it's
first
natural.
human to do this?
And then you just say the Greeks, and then everybody goes, "Oh, they started
That is true, though. I wonder what else they tried. Radish. Pickle.
Carrots.
Uh,
Or what's the one that makes you cry? The onions? Like,
Oh,
oh,
the
put an onion.
yeah, let's do some onions. Gotta
Cucumbers
cry.
are I don't like the taste, but they're good in water, I will say.
Are you are you let me put some stuff in my water guy, like a strawberry
If I have the
berry?
option, definitely. I'll put anything in there. Egg roll, donut.
Snickers bar.
Yeah.
I'm on a
No, no,
diet. I
no.
can only eat so much.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't.
why?
You know, if you had the ability, an easy way to just have lemon, some
Always.
slice of lemon in every drink, of course.
Lemon in water, always.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
but that's it. No cucumber, no other
Ooh.
fruits. I've never.
Have you tried the cucumber?
I think so.
You'd know. You haven't. It's refreshing as shit.
How it makes it that much more refreshing, Gene?
Yeah, because it feels like you're like, I'm not just drinking water, I'm on vacation.
I'm in the Mediterranean.
I was like, oh, we fancy now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what? This Saturday, you and Nana come up, we'll watch the fight. I'll have some cucumber water for you.
Oh,
Okay. Ooh,
Yeah, let me just check with Vicky, but let's do it. We'll have you guys over.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll do the fights, then and prepare for the show. Okay,
yo, going back, how much was that Askren and Paul fight?
$50.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not
That's
bad.
all I had.
For a hilarious, like Grant. I mean, listen. I don't want to sound like a crazy person, but if he's 3 fights away from Conor McGregor.
Okay, let's not get back on this.
3 fights. That's a lot. That's a lot of fights. That's 2 years.
It's not gonna happen.
Well, he's got to. That's the thing. Would you watch a Conor McGregor Jake Paul fight?
No,
You wouldn't watch a Conor McGregor Jake Paul fight?
I'm
John,
not gonna pay a dime of my money to that man.
Don't be too good for this.
Nope, well, not sorry.
Damn, would you go to somebody's house if they had it?
No,
It's a good move. That's a good move. Yeah.
I'd find something else to do.
You're
There's
like
plenty of other
Seinfeld.
sports on.
When he's like, I choose not to run. That's a Seinfeld move.
There's plenty of other stuff to watch.
Yeah, sure. But okay. Thank you for listening. Subscribe. Rate 5 stars. Write a review. Follow on Twitter at Brian_Alonzo. And then follow Instagram at First Team Second String. TikTok First Team Second. Oh, we got a YouTube channel.
Hey,
We're on
come
YouTube
world.
now. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to that too. First Team Second String. Type that in. And if that doesn't come up, then do that and type in podcast. And then we'll see if that pops up. Yo, when I posted the first episode, 1, it takes forever to post to YouTube. I had no fucking idea. And then 2, like I clicked on some premiere shit and it was like I was live. It was like like we went live at 2 a.m. on a fucking Friday or 2 a.m. on a Friday to Saturday night. And I popped it up and it said no one in the chat box. Even if people knew, they'd be still, there still probably wouldn't be anybody. But at 2 a.m. is hilarious. It just looked like we were live at 2 a.m. I thought that was really funny.
It's real sad.
But sick graphics. All right. Hope you enjoyed the show.